Greetings, family. It's Empress D, obviously in nature. Another gorgeous day. No coat at all today, family. We are certainly being gifted by the universe with this beautiful weather during these turbulent times here in this part of the globe where we live, right, family? So, like where I live, family, beautiful weather the whole time, you know, better than normal weather we're getting here in this part of the on this part of the earth, family, and I'm so grateful for that. So all of you in the area where I live, if you're not getting out in nature, honestly, it's like a disrespect. It's a disrespect to the universe, because really, when do we get this? Never, okay? And to me, it's this gift the universe is giving us before the storm, okay? Family, I just wanted to share my thoughts with you today. I wanted to go into this whole what if scenario, okay? Like, what if from birth, right, until this point right here, our reality has been constructed? Remember, we always talk about this. Perception is reality, right? Our reality is essentially what we're exposed to, right? If we're not exposed to something beyond our existence and what we've seen and sensed with our senses, our five senses, it doesn't exist, right? At least in this reality. So what we are exposed to is our reality, right? So these planes going overhead every 2 minutes, this is what we're exposed to, and therefore this is my reality. Even when I'm out in a nature space, I have to be reminded that I'm in this thing where things like planes exist, right? This thing other than nature, okay? Because this is our reality. You get me? If I wasn't exposed to the planes, I wouldn't know the planes existed, right? If I wasn't out here every day and recognizing, especially when I'm sharing that there's planes going over every couple minutes, that wouldn't be my reality. This is what I experience, right? So because I experience it, it's my reality. You get me, family? So whatever we've been shown in our lives is what is real, okay? So what I'm saying is, what if everything we've been shown has been orchestrated, thought out and planned, right? Because those who expose us to education, at the upper up of that industry is one set of people, okay? Trickling down to the different levels that expose our children to the information we want them to learn, okay? So that's orchestrated. So that reality, in terms of everything we learn in our school days, you know, where we spend most of our life when we're growing up, just like when we're working, that's where we spend most of our life by design. What if it's all orchestrated, right? So those at the upper ups of all of these different areas that we are exposed to. So we're exposed to, the education system, right? We're exposed to media. Music is such a masterful guider in life, right? Think about when we had music like Bob Marley's music. Think about the times we were living in, where people were learning to love one another, right? Where the Hamptons of the world were getting together with the other groups and trying to mobilize things, right? Those were those times, family. Think about those times. That's different than now, right? That was the reality then. They were exposed to love and peace. They were exposed to me growing up. You know, my brother and I talk about it all the time. We were exposed to Care Bears. We're exposed to the Smurfs. We're exposed to Voltron. We're exposed to He-Man. We're exposed to all these Thundercats. All these different shows that showed everybody had their own unique thing. But when they came together, they were strongest. So my generation was exposed to that kind of programming, right? The millennials were exposed to a different type of programming. Instant gratification, a participation award. all these different, they were set up for a real setup. Those millennials, the programming in their generation, BET for the Nubian people, and the rap culture, and that woman's exploitation, like we just transformed into something else by that program, right? Let me not get off track. What I'm saying is, what if we're exposed to was all designed to elicit a certain response, or raise a certain human, right? So what I want to wrap it all to is this. What if what we're going through right now is all designed to elicit a certain response, okay? Meaning that this is all set out in a plan, okay? And the way to be able to see that is to really look at what is going on inside of you. What is your soul telling you? What is the rumbling in your tummy saying to you, right? When you're doing something that it's kind of questionable, but you say, they wouldn't make us, steer us wrong. You know, that's putting a trust into something that really, when you look about it and step back from the outside in, they've never had your best interest at heart. How can you have the best interest of every single person at heart? It's impossible. You can't please everybody. That's why everybody has to please themselves. You get me? That's why governments don't work. Governments are going to govern in their best interests. Why wouldn't they? They're in charge. So when they do that, how can that be in the best interest of all the people that live within their parameters of control, right? It's time to govern ourselves, family, because guess what? We know what's best for us. And I think that this is what this whole exercise is. It's time to govern ourselves. Straight goods. It's time to govern ourselves. We can't allow anybody to make decisions for us, right? And I am a champion for that. And I don't care what you call me. You can call me anything you want. Anti this, anti that. I don't, because I know who I am, right? And so that's why those names don't bother me. But do you know why those names don't bother me? Because I've come to a place where I can see things for what they are. And you know why? Because I know who I am, right? And so if more of us really knew who we were, we would be able to see things for what they are, right? And so that's why I encourage everybody to get to know yourselves, family. That's why I come out into nature, right? I come out here by myself in the peace and quiet, the elements, the animals. It's a song and a melody. You don't have to put it on your YouTube, You don't have to play nature sounds. You can actually come out and experience real nature sounds to relax yourself, family. The scenery, even in the change of seasons, you can appreciate it. Like now I can see that the things are dying. It's time they're going to go to hibernation now, these plants, right? And that's what it is. And it's you get to take that in, even subconsciously, family. It's just the natural progression of life. It helps you get and allow that to happen in your life. Just allow the natural progression, just like nature allows for it to happen. That's what I do for my life. I just allow the universe to, I know it probably sounds wishy-washy to people, but it's a real strength to do that, right? Just to allow the universe to work through you. And I know it may sound real abstract to people, but it's a really powerful position to be in, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not my brain's it's not my brain's fault. If I'm just going by the universe's guidance. So if something bad happens, it's what the universe intends, right? And it's not my fault. My brain didn't make that decision. It's the universe. This is what the universe thinks we need to go through in order to be our best. And that's how I look at it. I feel like I'm going off into tangents, family, but that's the message today. The message is that I want us to consider the fact that our whole realities have been designed to elicit a certain response out of us, right? Because essentially what we perceive around us, what we see, hear, taste, feel, our perception here, our perception is our reality, right? And so if you can control all of that, you can control somebody's reality. That's what a parent does, right? We want to expose our children to certain things, not expose them to certain things, because we're trying to create in their reality, right? Because what we know, what we expose them to is what they'll know, right? And that's why people take their children traveling to see different parts of the world, because what they're exposed to is what they'll know. And what the more you know is the more your reality is expanded, right? Because we only know what we've been exposed to. And the powers that be know that, right? Family, get out in nature. I'm telling you, it's wonderful out here. And really, please get on that journey to know who you are, right? Because everything, if we're going with the flow of the universe, that's what the universe is pushing us to do. Okay, family? Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. I love and I value each and every one of you. One love.